my name is Reilly, and today I have one of my favorite things, and that is an alignment tutorial. So I've put together what I consider to be the top 10 most common used yoga postures. And so if you are new to yoga and you're looking to figure out what the heck is going on and what these words are that the teachers keep saying, or if you've been practicing for a while and you want to refine your alignment, figure out how to better engage and breathe in your postures, then this is the class for you. So we're getting started in child's pose on our mat. So child's pose has a lot of different variations and is often seen as a resting posture, but for people who don't really find this very comfortable, it's not so restful. So I have a blanket here to show you some options for modifications depending on where you're the tightest in your body. But general alignment, we take our knees about as wide as our mat and our big toes to touch. So my toes come to touch together, and I press my hips back towards my heels as I walk my hands forward. Slowly allowing my chest to come down towards the mat. Maybe my head comes to touch. Now maybe your child's pose right off the bat looks like mine, but for most people it doesn't work this way and places are uncomfortable. So if you find that the worst place in your child's pose is the tops of your feet, your ankles aren't quite ready to be stretched that much, this is where our little blanket friend comes into play. So we bring the blanket underneath our ankles and then pressing back. You'll find this helps take a lot of the pressure off. If you find in your child's pose that you have a hard time getting your hips towards your heels and you would like support with it, take your blanket, bring it behind your knees, and allow your hips to sit back on your blanket. If you find that it is your shoulders that are the hardest part here, this is one you could put a blanket underneath, but generally it will open up for you over time. But you do have the option to take your hands back behind you if you have any shoulder injuries or the hold becomes too long. So nice and gentle, let your chest melt down towards your thighs. You can play around with the distance of your knees, and even taking your knees to touch is another option here in your child's pose. Nice deep breaths. Being active would be to reach your fingertips strong and forward. Being a little bit more passive, nice relaxed arms, maybe even bent elbows, or again, arms behind you. Take one more breath in your child's pose. And know that this will open up for you over time. If your hips are really high, if the tops of your feet are tight and your shoulders are tight, this will get better for you with practice. Transitioning into our next posture, downward facing dog. We see this one a lot. It's a very common one on Instagram, on advertisements for yoga. Child's pose is actually this little secret alignment setup. You can figure out how far apart your hands and your feet should be from child's pose. So keeping your big toes where they are, reaching your hands as far forward as you can. Keep them there. This is your perfect setup. Pulling forward with your hands, pull your belly in. We're gonna tuck our toes underneath and press our hips up towards the ceiling. Now our goal here is to work our head between our shoulders. If that means that our knees bend and our heels are lifted, that is okay. So if your head is in front of your shoulders, in front of your arms, press your chest towards your thighs. If you have very open shoulders, be mindful that your head doesn't come beyond your shoulders. This is not great for the shoulder joint. Spread your fingers really wide. Drive down into the L's of your hand. Pointer finger and thumb really connecting down. Middle fingers facing forward, and we lock our shoulders in. Imagine you're pushing a really heavy door open. Feet are about hips distance apart, little bit of space. We're working towards straightening our knees and working towards our heels coming down to the mat. Don't stress if it's not there yet. Gaze is underneath our shoulders. Try to breathe nice and smooth. This is definitely a full body posture for stretch and for strength. Push more into your hands so you don't dump in your shoulders. One more breath. Nice big inhale, look forward. We'll try out our next posture, forward fold. Nice and gentle. You can have a big bend in your knees. Your core, your belly is pulled in tight. Walk your feet forward. If your hamstrings are tight, you may find that your hands do not stay connected here and they lift off. That is totally cool. Taking our forward fold to the top of our space. This is usually just moving to the front of your mat. And in our forward fold, blocks are a fantastic friend under your hands. Sometimes a big bend in the knees is much more comfortable. We are just our legs towards straight. It's very important in forward folds that you keep your legs engaged. This is one of the most common injuries in yoga. They call it yoga butt. But it's an overstretch of where our hamstrings meet our glutes, or the back of our legs meet our hips. To prevent this, our weight shifts forward into our toes, what I like to call light, fluffy marshmallow heels. You should be able to bounce them. Then engaging our glutes is the next most important piece. So we're pushing into the balls of our feet. And then imagine you're trying to stretch the mat out between your feet. So you're pushing down and pressing out till you feel your booty get nice and strong. Be careful not to lock out your knees, because again, our weight is forward in our toes. See if you can let your upper body hang, even if that means that you are up here. Totally cool. Props are always a good friend. Take one more breath. Bend your knees, pull your belly in. Bring your gaze forward, lift your chest up. Push down through your heels as you sweep up. Option to add your arms, breathing in and coming down. Okay, nice work. All right, next posture, Tadasana or mountain pose. Very simple posture, just with a couple of little details. Our feet come right underneath our hips. This is our hip bones, not the outsides of our hips. No more than 2 fists apart, okay? Pressing equally into all of our we call the 4 corners of our feet, the inner and outer ankles, as well as the balls and the heels of our feet. Everything is nice and grounded. Roll your shoulders back and palms face forward. Tadasana, or mountain pose. I teach a couple little kids and they always go, Tadasana. So I hear it in my head every time. This is used as a transition and oftentimes just a moment to come back and ground down in your practice. So we'll try it out as a transition into our next posture. So taking your Tadasana at the top of your mat. Moving into what we call Warrior 2 or Virabhadrasana 2. Step your right foot back. Turn your toes to face straight to the side. So I have my left toes pointing forward and my right toes pointing to the side. So I got this nice little 90-degree stack. Then I want to make sure my feet are in correct alignment. So if I draw a line from my front heel straight back, I want it to meet the arch or the middle of my back foot. So do your wiggle and wobble to align that. Now, with these standing postures, the farther apart your feet are, the more intense this gets, okay? So you can choose, if you want to advance your practice, go farther. If you are learning and building strength, maybe start a little bit more narrow. With our legs, we begin to bend into our front leg until our knee stacks right on top of our ankle. Press your hips forward. And if you'd like, you can even try out little laser beams here on your hips and notice which way they're pointing. If they're pointing down or if they're tilted and you're tipping over with your bowl of water, set your hips up nice and flat. Now look and see if that made your front knee collapse in. This is the most common thing I see with yogis, that in their Warrior 2s, their knee comes inwards. So what we want to do is make sure you can see your big toe. How to do that? Push into the pinky toe side edge of your foot and squeeze your glute on the left, on your front leg, so it's nice and locked in. Arms come open to a T, nice and long. And oftentimes the back arm tends to be a little bit more chill than the front, so a little fun special yogi trick. Karate chop. Take your fingertips together, have them touch, and then press them straight open. Gaze is over the first 2 fingers on your front hand. This is definitely a strengthening posture, your inner warrior. Make sure you can see your big toe. Squeeze your legs towards each other. Take a nice deep breath. Relax your shoulders. Next posture, peaceful warrior. Flip your palm or reverse warrior for some teachers. Reach up and back. Our legs stay exactly the same. Try not to come out of the bend. Keep the bend in your front knee, reaching up and back. Palm faces down and we make a nice long line of energy through both sides of our body. Take a nice deep breath in. Deep breath out. Core is pulled in. One more. Good. Coming back, Warrior 2. Okay, final one here. If your front leg's burning, you're winning. Start to reach forward. Extended side angle. So reaching as far forward as you can until you cannot anymore. And then take your forearm to your thigh and reach your top right arm up. You have the option here to keep your palm facing forward, or if you'd like, taking a big extension. Bring your bicep to your ear, palm points down. Knees still bent in the front. Rotate your bottom left shoulder under, open through your top right shoulder. This works for both variations. Pushing into the heel of your front foot and the ball of your back foot. Stay, or option to extend your left hand down. Nice deep breaths. If you choose the extension, push your thigh into your arm into your thigh. One more breath in. Okay, practicing a transition. Turn your back heel up, move to lunge. Hands come to frame your foot. Take a nice deep breath in. Look forward. Reach diagonally up with your head, and we're going to step our feet together. Pull your belly in. Use your exhale to travel. Bend your knees. Pull your belly in and roll all the way back up to Tadasana. And we'll switch sides. Nice job. Shake out your legs. You got a good burn going. Excellent. If you didn't and you want one, go farther with your feet. All right. Stepping the left foot back. Warrior two. Stepping straight back. Choose your battles here. Farther the harder. Front toes, right toes face forward. Left toes face totally side, and we draw our line to hit our heel to arch alignment. Heel to arch alignment. Okay. Bending into your front knee. Stack your knee on top of your ankle. Press your hips forward. Make sure nothing's crazy going on with them. If you'd like, you can get your karate chop, setting up your arms. Make sure you can see your big toe. If you cannot, on your front foot, press into the pinky toe side edge. Deep breath in, stay as you are. Let it go. And we'll take our peaceful warrior. Flip your right palm. Legs stay the same, very important. Reaching up and back. Nice, slow, steady breaths. Keep pressing your front knee open towards the pinky toe side edge. Press your knee forward. Nice breath in. Let it go. Coming back to your warrior two. Extended side angle, reaching as far forward as you can with your right hand. Lean, 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 lean. Legs stay the same. Right forearm comes to your thigh. Left hand comes straight up. Or you have the option to drop it overhead. Rotate your right shoulder under, open through the top left shoulder. Breathe steady. Relax your toes on both feet. Drive out through the pinky toe side edge of your back foot. One more breath. Option to extend. Nice and slow, transition to your lunge. Turning the body over. It's okay if forearm's still on your thigh. Hands can come down to help you look forward. Take a big inhale. Use your exhale, pull your core in, step your feet together. Pull your belly in, round and curl all the way up. Yahoo! Okay, shake it out. Fantastic. All right, moving into our last couple of postures. We're gonna do crescent lunge or Anjaneyasana. There's lots of postures that can be played off of these as well, but these are the foundational ones. Okay, so this time, Tadasana. We'll step our, let's do our right foot back. So we're setting up in a big lunge shape here. We want to make sure that our knee again stacks in a straight line over our ankle, and our back heel is going to be lifted up nice and tall. We want to try to stack our head, our ribs, and our hips in one nice long line. If that means that your back leg becomes a little bit more bent, that is okay. Often what we see here is a big tip forward of the hips. So see if you can get everything tucked underneath you, really pressing long through your legs. Wiggle your toes out on your front foot, make sure they're relaxed. Press the back heel up nice and high, don't let it fall in. Sweeping your arms up overhead. Try not to let your chest open up, keep your core pulled in. Reaching your hands up, dial your pinkies towards each other. So we're rotating our hands in, locking in our shoulders. Take a nice deep breath. The farther your legs are, the harder this is. Same rule applies. Breathe slow. And we're going to use this to transition to our next posture, which is our pyramid pose. Hands come to your hips. Step your back foot in just a little bit and step it out a little bit to the right. Our back toes are going to come at a 45-degree angle, so they're turned slightly out. And this is one that's cued differently by different teachers. So with this alignment, it used to be taught, as you can see here, heel to heel, aligning here. But they found that most people's hips won't square up with this. So step your back foot out until you're able to really have your hips squared up forward. It's more important than anything, okay? Right foot's turned out. Front leg is straight. This can be done as a nice tall posture, sometimes as a peaceful, but most of the time it's a fold. So allowing your chest to come forward, hands can come to blocks. You can keep your hands on your hips or hands to the mat. But again, it's a big hamstring stretch, so you may have a bend in your front knee as you're working on opening up here. Almost all of the weight is going to shift forward into our front foot. What this does is take our open hips and it squares them up for us. Take a nice deep breath. Speak kindly to your hamstrings. Engagement here, we're pressing into the balls of both of our feet and pressing them out away from us, like we're stretching the mat between our feet. Take one more breath. Practice transitioning back to our forward fold. Look forward, bend your front leg and step your feet together. Bend your knees, pull your belly in and curl or rise all the way up. Okay, let's try the other side. Right foot's forward, left foot steps back for a lunge, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Front knee bends to meet the ankle. You can go wider with your feet to help out your stance. If you find you're really wobbly here, go just a little bit wider with your back foot to help yourself out. Make sure you can see your big toe on the front foot. Push out long through the back heel. Close your ribs. Reach tall through the arms. Dial your pinkies in. Breathe. Crescent lunge. Farther your feet are, the harder it is. It's this theme. One more breath. Belly's pulled in nice and tight. Hands coming to your hips. Step your back left foot in a little bit closer. Toes turn out to 45 degrees. Straighten through your front leg. Square up your hips. You can get your laser beams again on your hips. Dipping forward. Almost all the weight is forward in our front foot. Nice deep breath. Stay lifted or fold. Option for complete fold, but going wherever you feel comfortable. Notice your hips, shifting the weight forward. Take one more breath. Inhale, look forward, bending into your front leg. Steps to forward fold, feet come together. Bend your knees, lift your chest. Inhale, sweep and rise. Exhale it down. Get your dance on. Nice work, everyone. Fantastic. That concludes our Yoga 101. As a general rule, as you're learning your postures, especially if you're moving through flows, inhale is to rise, exhale is to lower, okay? So for instance, if you're transitioning from your warrior twos, feels like an inhale to rise, exhale to lower. Same thing with any postures. Inhale, rise, exhale, lower. And then the final piece is that your exhales are very helpful for big power transitions or a little bit of harder transitions between postures. Exhales pull your core in really tight, so try it out for yourself. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Let out a big exhale through your mouth. You'll feel how your belly and your core, everything pulls in nice and tight. So as you're transitioning for your steps, inhale, exhale. This automatically pulls your core in and gives you a lot more stability as you move from posture to posture in your practice. Yeah, so I hope this was helpful for you. Feel free to leave a comment with any feedback that you have. I love doing alignment tutorials, so if you have poses you want to know how to do, how to get into, out of, I'd be happy to help you out. So again, my name is Reilly. Thanks so much for playing, and we'll see you later. Bye.